pass rushers like you do with C.J. Herbert, Adrian Tracy, and Sean Lissamore, we got to create pass. We got to find ways to generate and create a pass rush. Whether that's bringing linebackers, whether that's bringing players from the secondary. The strength of this team is probably at the linebacker position because that's the most experience. You know, Jake Tranton, Wes Steinman, and Evan Franks have really been very solid throughout the course of camp. We've got solid backups in Dante Cook and Jabrell Mines, and we feel that'll probably be the strength of the group. So, you know, the depth, you know, I feel very good about our first unit. Our second unit is still a work in progress, but continuing to get better. And a lot of our guys have real high football IQs, which enables us to maybe make 14 or 15 players, you know, appear as if they're 18 to 22 players because they can do a lot of different things for us. That's really kind of neat. We call them interchangeable parts. Last year or this year or next year, whatever it is, just trying to identify the strengths and weaknesses of your individual parts of your plan right there, and tailoring the game plan to the strengths of your players. You know, finding something that you know, individuals do well, you know, and tailoring the game plan to their strengths. You know, we're a personnel-driven defense, not a scheme-driven defense. And what I mean by that is we don't try to find players who can fit into our scheme. We try to find schemes that fit our players. So really, that's the most fun to me, trying to identify and trying to solve that problem. And as a coach, you know, I think as my job, I'm a problem solver and I'm a decision maker, and trying to put our guys in a position that they can be successful. That's the fun part for me. The expectations for both B.W. Webb is our field corner and Ben Cottingham's our boundary corner. You know, we have high expectations for them. You know, Ben's been a very experienced player for us. He's a great story, coming here as a walk-on and then evolving into a fifth-year senior who's now a captain. He plays with tremendous technique. He's rarely ever out of position, and he's a real leader for the defensive backfield. And BW, he's an extremely talented individual. Obviously, he's the CAA Defensive Rookie of the Year last year, and it's very comforting knowing that, you know, when he and Brian Thompson are out to the field, that I feel like we've got a pretty good situation out there. The first thing we talk about is we want guys that love to play football. Not guys that love being football players, guys that love to play football. And there's a difference there. Guys that love to practice, love to do the things it takes to be a great player, love to do the things it takes to be, you know, quality defense. We're looking for team-first guys who understand the name on the front of the jersey is way more important than the name on the back of the jersey. Guys that are going to lay it on the line for one another, guys that are going to fly around, guys that are going to understand their individual responsibility within the framework of the defense. And we're looking for guys with high football IQs. You know, like I said before, I mean, guys that can play a variety of positions, provide us a lot of flexibility so we can do different things. Well, certainly losing a player or players the caliber of David Caldwell and Rob Livingston it creates a big hole. I'm very pleased with the progress of the safety position. We've moved Terrell Wells from corner to safety, and Terrell has a tremendous amount of game experience and has picked up the position of free safety real well. And Brian Thompson got his feet wet last year backing up David, and has put himself in a position, and he's probably been our most consistent performer throughout the course of spring ball and training camp. Coach always talks about the bar's been raised, the standards are high. I mean, as a defensive coaching staff, we set really high standards for our players, and you know, regardless of the success of the 2009 team, this is a new team, like I said, and the expectations are just as high. Certainly, you know, there's not so much pressure because of the success of last year, but because maybe every year you put some pressure on yourself to be successful, and we play in clearly the best FCS conference that there is in football, and week in, week out, you really have to bring your A game because the difference between first place and fourth place in our league is a pretty fine line, pretty fluid. I mean, after BW, Terrell, and Ben, there's not a tremendous amount of experience back there, so we've really tried to throw the guys into difficult situations during the course of camp. I'm pleased at the corner position. Ethan Lee, who has some special teams experience, has stepped up and established himself as the third corner and done a pretty good job. TK Hester, Ryan Smith, and a freshman named Jesse McNeil are probably battling for that fourth corner position, still to be determined. At the safety position, you know, Jake O'Connor is a fourth-year junior who's played on some special teams for us and provides flexibility because he can play both the free safety and strong safety position. And then Jerome Coupland is a redshirt freshman who provides solid depth, and maybe I don't know whether it's the surprise of the camp, but the person who's really played pretty well is a true freshman named Eric Green. It's extremely rewarding, and I've been blessed to have coached at a lot of different places and coached a number of guys in the NFL, but just you know, from where we came in 2007 to the success we had last year, to watch the development of, you know, Derek Cox, who was drafted in 2008 by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the success he had last year with the Jaguars, and to watch, you know, Adrian have 9 tackles the other night in a preseason game against the Steelers, and to see or hear Sean had 3 tackles in the preseason game the other day, and to know that David Caldwell's, you know, although he's going to be on injured reserve for the Colts this year, has an opportunity to be a contributor someday. That's really kind of neat, and to have had the impact on those guys and to help them develop as football players is really cool. At the same time, and I know Coach Laycock says things like this all the time, to watch other guys develop into men is really cool too, whether it's pro football or people going on to graduate school or business or law school or whatever, just having an impact on the type of student athletes you do at a place like William & Mary. Try football, expect excellence.